folks. I'm John Robert Maloney, here in my room at the Armed Forces Retirement Home in Gulfport, Mississippi. This is a declaration that has been making the rounds on the internet. I don't know who wrote it, or just where it originated, but it's rather important. Read it. A declaration of civil war. Whereas, on Wednesday, 14 December 2011, the House of Representatives of the United States of America voted in the form of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2012 in favor of indefinite military detention without charges of citizens of the United States of America on United States soil without due process of law at the discretion of the government alone. Whereas, on Thursday, 15 December 2011, the Senate of these United States of America voted in favor of the same bill. Whereas, on Saturday, 31 December 2011, the President of the United States of America signed the same bill into law. Whereas, the prescription against the use of military force to police the populace has been an essential feature of American civic life and civic liberty since the arrival of our civilization upon this continent. Whereas, the wanton violation of this prescription was one of the chief causes of the separation of the American people from their government in Great Britain. Whereas, our divinely inspired Constitution of the United States of America, so chartering the government of these United States of America in Section 3 of Article 3, states that, quote, no person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court, close quote. Whereas, our divinely inspired Constitution of the United States of America, so chartering the government of these United States of America, in Amendment 5, states that no person shall be, quote, deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, unquote. Whereas, the House of Representatives...
And you'd think, I got about 8 miles down that fucking ponderous, endless. It's gotta be longer than the Bible, like, word-wise. NDNAA. Scroll down, man. There's provisions all at the top about who gets dogs that were in the field of battle, whose masters in the field of battle were, like, stricken down. The protocol for who gets adoption priority, about a quarter of a mile below that, like a whole huge section on freaking the priority, who gets first dibs on travel vouchers, and then, like, that little, like, nugget that says, in nebulous language, if you're considered a threat to national security. Now, you'd think that, like, fucking something so, like, valued universally across the nation, traditionally, like the right to due process, one of the basic bills of rights, guaranteed, self-evident, unalienable, like guaranteed freedoms, bestowed by us from the Creator, not from any, feeling stingy this, like, historical epoch, and feeling generous the next. You'd think that something so intense as important and historical as the fucking Fifth Amendment, is it? Due process, indefinite detention, wouldn't be caked under 8 miles of, like, provisions for, like, travel fucking vouchers. Do you know what I mean? And it's, like, right under our fucking faces, people. Like, fucking... You know, not for nothing now, like fucking Google can do all this bullshit, like freaking track your privacy and like send you text, whatever, man. I heard a bunch of bullcrap yesterday on the idiot box about it, like freaking right off the bat, man. Like fucking, what is it, SOPA? Everybody got really upset on Facebook, like all my friends and acquaintances, like nobody seemed to bat an eyelash every time I put like freaking do you realize that Executive Order 11,000 says that we can be like mobilized into work brigades under government supervision? Hello? Like, forget about this New Year's Day one. No one really got upset about that. Like, or the fact that freaking the NDAA, National Defense 2012 Authorization Act, cakes like in vague, nebulous like terminology, who will be a threat to national security. The people that are threats to national security are the treasonous traitors that pen that in there under 8 miles of like who gets like freaking Benji from Afghanistan, whose dear like fucking like fallen soldier was gunned down, and like his family gets first adoption rights or something. You know, not for nothing, I applaud that shit, but like fucking annulling one of the Bills of Rights, one of the Bill of Rights, under 8 miles of who gets to travel fucking voucher, like in vague language. Now, who gets to define that? I do. Like, there are whoever put that little thing in there, and I could find it later, but like I'm not really talking focusedly. Nobody seemed to get up in arms like when I was like, look at this, executive orders from hell. Executive Order 11,000. The government can mobilize civilians into work brigades in an emergency. Hello? But then, like, everybody's all up in arms about the SOPA Act. Like, fucking, not for nothing, I'm down with, like, fucking throwing down the gauntlet, like fucking drawing a line in the sand and being like, no, you've already gone way too far and you will not pass that or you will meet popular revolt. And by revolt, I mean, for me personally, at this point, Gene Sharp, Gandhi's, Martin Luther King Jr.'s techniques of non-violent withdrawal of compliance against unjust rule, the threat to national security, the threat to the United States of America, that Thomas Jefferson is not just like trying to dig out of his grave, roll over. He's like fucking punching the soil, like fucking flipping out, trying to shake one of you people, like SOPA, like under the banner of protecting intellectual property, copyright infringement, passed, and everybody got all up in arms on Facebook. But does anybody ever read the fine print at Facebook that like stipulates that any intellectual property that you may have created that you post on Facebook, by clicking agree, you give them supposedly the right in complete bad faith to use any or all part of your works and never compensate you, and always have rights into the eternal future over anything that you post that's yours, that you created. That's fucking hilarious, man. Anyhow, this is another freaking meandering, off the topic fucking video. Why, Buddha?